Peace, family. Desiree D. Ray Wise here. Welcome back. Your spiritual healing coach, coming with some wisdom and some insight today. Today, we are talking about spiritual activation and why it's important. The power of spiritual activation, how to be spiritually activated, and really helping you to recognize the difference between just receiving some spiritual information and spiritual activation. Okay. Thank y'all for being here. When you come in, make sure you say hey, say what's up. So, how did this topic come about? Last night, I want to say probably around 4 o'clock in the morning, Dream and I were sitting up in the bed talking. I don't know how or why these conversations just come up, but we're talking about spirituality. We're talking about different teachers that we've had, um, and how these teachers have changed our lives and how we change the lives of the people who we deal with. And we were just able, a lot of wind. Matter of fact, y'all let me know that you can hear me. I want to make sure that you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can. Peace, I am infinite being. Peace, Mad Titan. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, please. Sounds good. Okay. Awesome. Eating on some grapes, enjoying the sun. All right. So last night, Dream and I are up in the bed. Really, it's not even nighttime. It was morning time, probably around 4 o'clock in the morning. And we're pillow talking, talking about our teachers, the work that we do, and kind of what makes each of us all different and unique. And what we ended up discovering was that there are some teachers who are heavy on the information, right? They help you to become smarter, okay? They help you to become smarter and acquire more spiritual information, but they may not activate you, meaning they may not change you as you are listening to them. Okay, exactly, babe. Yeah, we were talking about how Dream had a dream last night about Bobby Hemmett. That's exactly what happened. Okay, and so the beautiful thing about, for example, Bobby Hemmett is that all of his stuff, he had book references, but all of his teachings focused around the activation. It focused around you changing, you growing, you becoming your God, goddess, divine selves. And so everything that he communicated wasn't always going to sound book smart. It wasn't always going to sound intellectual. And this is something that I want you all as spiritual beings to understand. Okay? In this work, family, it is not about how smart you sound. It's not about knowing all of these different things, right? All of these different books and all of this different information. It's not about that. This spiritual work is about how you do the alchemy. This spiritual work is about how you become your best self. It's about how you change. It's about how you transform. It's about how you actually rise up. And so many people in the spiritual community that I've observed You have all of this information. You've read all of these books. You've probably even taken a lot of classes. But these books and these classes have not activated you. Hence, the transformation has not taken place in your life. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Does that sound familiar, right? Where you read this book or you take this class or you listen to this video, and after watching it or listening to it or hearing it, you feel smarter, right? You feel smarter. You feel like you have a better understanding, but it hasn't really shifted something inside of your being. Has that ever happened to any of you? Let me know in the chat. I'm going to take a moment and share this video with the Sacred Sister Circle and my other communities. Yes, exactly. The reason why the information doesn't change you is because the information is not activated. The information is not for you in that moment. All right. I know we just getting started. I know we're just getting started, but I need you to feel me. I need you to hear me, and I need you to take what I'm saying into your being right now. Some of the information that you have been engaging with and taking in is just content. Okay? Some of it is just content. And here's why I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because there are some of you who have taken a class with me or who have been coached by me or a one-on-one session with me. And my work is not about information. My work is about activation. So today I'm going to be telling you about the power of activation and why you need to stop just consuming information. Okay? What you should be going for, I don't know why I can't find my own video. I cannot find my own video to share it. It's weird. What you should be going for is spiritual activation. Everybody in the chat put activation. I'm going to tell you what activation is, but go ahead and put activation in the chat right now. Can't find it. Activation. Put it in the chat. Because I got some good stuff for y'all today. It may ruffle some feathers, but it's what you need to hear. It may ruffle some feathers, but it is what you need to hear. Okay? So let's get into it. What is activation? Thank you, everybody, for putting activation in the chat. What is activation? While information is content, spiritual activation is connection. Come on, Spirit. The reason why some of you may be feeling stagnant in your life or like you're not moving forward is because you've been indulging in a whole bunch of content and the content is not connecting. I'm just here to give it to you. And some of you, you're on these spiritual pages and you're reading these books and you're taking notes and you're doing all of these things, but there's a lack of connection there. The spark isn't there. And when that spark isn't there, the transformation doesn't take place. Activation is connection, meaning when you read something, you hear something, okay? When you engage with something and there's a connection that takes place between the information that you are receiving and your spirit and your soul and your DNA and your cells. When you get activated, there's a certain feeling to what you are receiving. Okay? Activation, we could also say it's when you're having that light bulb moment. It's when you're like, It's when you have to say, that's what I needed to hear. That's the missing piece that I was needing. That's the dot that wasn't connecting in my being. Transformation does not happen without activation. Transformation does not happen without activation. So I need you all to start looking for activation rather than information. Activation rather than information. Some of you are just information junkies. And this is the very thing that is stopping you from being activated, transforming, healing, and becoming your best self. You're constantly seeking information, but you're not looking in the right places. It's like you're that kid at school. Okay? Y'all remember the kid at school? Maybe this kid was you, where you're in class and your teacher is teaching and you're writing notes, right? You're writing notes and you're writing down everything that they're saying to do. And you think you got it. But when that test gets in front of you and it's time for you to prove your knowledge and it's time for you to prove your gnosis, you can't pass the test. Okay? Has that ever been any of you? If we look at it in spiritual sense, if we look at it from a spiritual perspective, you can receive all of this insight. Do this on the full moon. Do this on the new moon. Do this meditation. Do this work. You can receive all of that, but when that new moon and that full moon come, it's not changing your life. It's not shifting your being. It's not helping you to become a new being. Why? Because you're like that kid that was just writing all of those notes, but you weren't being activated by the information. Check. Put a check in the chat if we get it. Activation is transformation. When activation happens, your inner wisdom comes online. And I do this for a lot of my clients. This is the difference between me and a lot of teachers. And this is why I want to say, those of you who I've been able to serve, I want to say thank you, because I realize that the work that I do is all about activation. It's not about content. I'm not reading books before I teach you. I'm not Googling on the internet before I show up for a class or before I come up for a session or whatever. Because what I teach and how I teach is for the people who are in the room. It's to activate something inside of you. It's to awaken something inside of you. It's to connect the dot that you've been having. Some of y'all have just been engaging with content and it's not connecting any dot. It's just adding more stuff into your files of stuff to use that you end up forgetting about. You end up forgetting about it. Let me tell you how I know this. I had a consultation just the other day, and this young lady asked me a specific question about like manifestation and affirmations or something like that. Now, mind you, she's been in the doing spiritual work for a little while. But when she asked that question, I just fully realized that a lot of people are receiving information, but the information is not changing them and it's not changing their lives. And I see this all the time. I see this all the time for people that I do readings for people that I have consultations with, for people in the Patreon and the Sacred Sister Circle. I see this all the time where it's just like they was in so and so class, and they did this and this and that. And I'm like, well, how did it change you? How did it shift you? What did you really gain? They can't really tell me. And the reason why they can't tell me is because they just gained a whole bunch of information. They just gained a whole bunch of information. Think about the 12 years, some probably 14, 16. Think about the 12 years that you were in school as a student. Think about that. Being in school for all of those years, and none of that shit changed your life. It was just information. Well, that's the same thing that is happening right now for a lot of you spiritual beings. Right? You're in this spiritual school and you're just receiving a whole bunch of information, and then you're asking yourself, well, how do I actually use this? How does this actually change me for the better? And this is why you need to work with certain teachers who focus more on activation rather than information. See, I'm not going to break down all the ins and out of numerology because you can go get a book that talks to you about that. I'm not even going to break down all of the specific ins and out of chakras because you can go get a book that talks about that. But when I work with you and you come into my class, or you get a reading, or you join the Patreon, the book club, or whatever, I'm going to speak to your soul, not your intellect. Activation speaks to the soul. Activation turns on cells that were dormant. Activation ignites some wisdom that was turned off. So when you have those moments of being like, okay, yeah. See, here's another big thing. I'm about to tell y'all something that's really gonna mess some of you up, right? But I love you. This is gonna be controversial. This is gonna be controversial, but it's okay. Are y'all ready for the controversy? Now, let me be clear. First of all, y'all let me know if you're ready for the controversy. Second of all, let me be clear. I'm talking about the people who actually want to change their lives and become their best self. Not the people that want to sound smart and sound like they graduated from the Harvard School of Spirituality. I'm talking about the people who actually want to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Come on. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, y'all ready for the controversy? Yes. Ready for the controversy? All right. Here's the controversy. You shouldn't have to take notes while being taught by a spiritual teacher. Ooh. You shouldn't have to take notes while being taught by a spiritual teacher. Ooh, I know it's controversy because y'all be having your journals and you be writing a lot of stuff down. Listen, I'm not talking about all the time, right? Sometimes you take notes. But if you're taking notes every single time you're sitting down and you're listening to something or reading about something, you're probably not being activated. You're probably just gaining some information. Oh, I know you know what? I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for it. And here's why. First of all, when you're taking notes, you're not in spirit, you're in logic. I don't have to start yelling at y'all. When you're taking notes, you are not in spirit. So you are missing the underlying message because you got to get your conscious mind to think real fast. Okay. You got to get your conscious mind to rationalize what is being communicated to you. That is not spiritual activation. That is not spiritual transformation. That is you receiving some more information to add into your big file cabinet of spiritual information. I'm just telling you the truth. Ooh, come on now. Let me tell you, when you are being spiritually activated, you don't need no notes, because immediately when those words penetrate your aura, penetrate your being, you feel it, and you'll never forget what was communicated to you. because it automatically penetrates into that subconscious mind and it starts to change you. It starts to change you. It starts to transform you. It starts to shapeshift you. It starts to do alchemy on you. You writing a whole bunch of notes. You are in logic and reasoning and you're missing the spirit. You are just at school taking notes and you're not even comprehending the message. You're in memory mode. Let me write this down so I can memorize it. That is not spirituality. That is not transformation. That is not healing. That is not you becoming your best self. And this is why I talk to so many people in this spiritual community. And when I talk to them, right? When I talk to them, it'd be like, oh my God. Like, y'all don't know how many times, and I love it. You don't know how many times I coach people and I have these coaching sessions or the Sacred Sister Circle or womb alchemy or reading or whatever it is. We do all of that. And people are just like, oh my God, you just gave me the missing puzzle piece that I was looking for. And they don't got to write it down because something shifts inside of them. And in fact, this is what I will say. If you receive something that a light bulb goes off in your head, if you receive that, rather than spending time writing it down and getting into logic and reasoning, go back and listen to it. If you are listening to a teacher or reading a book or engaging with some sort of information and it made you feel like, ooh, I hear you, spirit, and it did that to you, rather than getting out of the spirit to write it down, rather than doing that, timestamp where you were listening, highlight where you were reading, and go back and read it and go back and listen. Exactly what Yah said. Spirit will help you remember what you already know. That's activation. See, none of this spiritual nothing is new under the sun. There's absolutely nothing that is new to you. You've just forgotten about it. And so when you talk to a teacher like me, I'm here to help you remember. I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm trying to help you remember what has been dormant inside of you. That's activation. And that's where transformation actually happens. It doesn't happen by writing all of these notes, reading all of these books, looking at all of these things. No, activation is when you receive some insight that shifts your internal being and that awakens something inside of you that was once sleeping. That is activation. So you can be the smartest, most spiritual person. let me rephrase that. You can be the most intellectual spiritual person, have read the most books, and you've connected the most dots. You can do all of that, but has your life changed? Have you changed? Are you a different person? Have you manifested that goal? Have you manifested that desire? If you haven't changed and created a new situation and circumstance for yourself, then it's just information and not activation. It's just information and not transformation. It's just content and not connection. And what you should be striving for is activation, connection, transformation, and to turn on certain lights that have been dim within your being. That's the goal. Okay? Let me get a 1 in the chat if we're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't take notes when I'm coaching my clients. That's what therapists do. I don't have to take notes. Because if I'm taking notes, then I'm not being present. If I'm taking notes, then while my client is still talking, I'm writing the last thing that she just said. And I can't really serve her if I'm not present because I'm taking notes on what she's saying. When I'm teaching, I don't want you taking a whole bunch of notes. Now, I may say, All right, get your pen and paper out for this because this is a ritual that you're going to do later. That may happen. But when I'm working with clients and I'm dropping gems on them and I'm activating them, I'll tell them straight up, stop taking the notes. This is recorded so that you can listen back to it. Because right when you start taking the notes, you come out of the present moment and you writing down what I just said 5 seconds, 10 seconds ago, instead of being here right now with what I'm sharing with you. Or another thing that you could do is it's just one word. Just write down one trigger word. If you writing down damn stories of notes while you are in a class, watching a video or reading something, you are not receiving the spiritual activation. You are just being bombarded with information. Information is useful, but information has to be applicable and it has to change you. Let me tell you something. See, a lot of people are receiving all of this information and it don't change their reality. You just writing it down because the teacher or the book or you've been trained in school. You've been trained intellectually to write notes. So you just writing notes out of habit. And then you barely go back and look at them notes. Here's why. Because if the information doesn't make you feel some type of way, you're not going to deal with it anyways. So you just wasted time, you just wasted effort and energy, and you just wasted some precious paper in that pretty little journal because you're not going to go back and read it. Why are you not going to go back and read it? Because it didn't activate. Let me tell y'all something. If it doesn't make you feel some type of way, you're not even going to go back and reread it. You're going to forget about it because it didn't make you feel nothing. It didn't shift anything inside of you. A light bulb didn't go off in your head. Okay? This is exactly why I tell my really. This is exactly why I tell my clients, I don't need you to take notes while we're here in the moment because you cannot be present. Okay? You can't be present. You can't really receive. Go back and take notes as you listen back to the video. That's even more powerful. And matter of fact, you can cut out all the fluff because a lot of times, there's a lot of context to get a point across. But you can cut out all the fluff and go back to those moments where you actually felt something in your being. Okay? Just got to keep it real with y'all. I just got to keep it real with y'all. And the reason why I have to do that is because I just want you to know the difference. There's a difference between content and connection. Connection is you receiving the answer to a question you didn't even realize you had. That ever happened to y'all? That ever happened to y'all? Where you listening to something and you reading something and you just like, bingo, there it is. That's what I was looking for. And when that happens to me, specifically with like teachers that I'm working with, I told y'all a couple of months ago, I made a pretty large investment into my own spiritual practice, into my own business, into my own growth with a beautiful genius teacher. But and the reason why I made the investment was because she was activating some shit in me just off her YouTube videos. And I was like, okay. I'm feeling that. Okay. Wasn't taking no notes. I was just knowing. I was just like, okay, spirit, I'm picking up on that. Turned around, made the investment. And then I was just like, oh, here's so good. Okay, here's what's so good about it. All right. I paid like $1,200 for this lady's class. Genius. But let me tell you what's so juicy. Come on, Spirit. I can't wait to tell you this. I only listened to 50% of the class. And the class was still worth the $1,200. Let me say it to you again. I paid $1,200 for a course, a spiritual business course. I paid $1,200 for a spiritual business course. The lady had been activating me for a few. Man, listen, I had just found her page. They talking about who is it? I'm gonna tell you who is it. Her name is Mina Irfan. Her page is called The Universe Guru. I'm gonna tell you who it is because I don't gotta hide. I don't gotta keep it to myself. I'm an activating goddess. I don't gotta keep it to myself. Her page is called The Universe Guru. Genius. You gonna pay for her stuff though. You gonna pay for her classes. You ain't just gonna, her free content is good, but you gonna pay for her shit. And I'm inspired by her, right? When I paid for her class, I paid for 2 of her classes at this point. But once I paid for it, I was like, okay, now I can raise the price on my classes. She activated me to charge my worth in my classes. She activated me to charge my worth in my business. She activated me to move a certain way when I show up. Okay? The Universe Guru. Go check her out. She gonna make you level up. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. She gonna make you level up. You're gonna have to make the investment if you want her content, if you want her activations, you're gonna have to pay for it. All right. Which is a beautiful thing. But like I was saying, I paid a certain amount for the class and I only listened to 50% of it. I keep getting stopped at that 50%. You want to know why? Because I've trained myself to only operate on activation and not information. I don't need to be inundated with a whole bunch of words and stuff just to add more chaos to my sacred work. I don't need that. And the beautiful thing about her was that she said it too. She said it in one of her videos. She was like, if you are taking a class or whatever, and you stop showing up to the class or you stop doing it, it's possible that literally you've already received everything that you needed from it. 2 things could happen. Either you received everything that you needed from it, 1, or 2, there's some type of mental emotional blockage or fear of getting to that next level, but you got to be honest with yourself. I realized for me, I had received everything that I needed to receive from it in week 1, week 2, and week 3 of the class. It was like three more sessions of the class, but week 1, 2, and 3, I had already been activated and transformed and changed so much. And because you have lifetime access to the class, I'm sure I'll go back in it and see what comes up and see what activations come through. But what I realize is that so many people just engage with information and content, and it's not changing your being. It's not changing who you are and leveling you up and evolving who you are. So if you are wondering, like, Spirit, why am I not evolving and changing? I would challenge you to stop engaging with so much content. Stop feeling like you have to listen to everybody. Stop feeling like like this is like school. Your spiritual path is not like elementary school, middle school, or high school, or even college. That's not what this is. This is you becoming a new person. This is you doing the self-alchemy. If it's not changing you, why do you keep engaging? That's one reason why I love my classes. And I love the Sacred Sister Circle. And I love the Patreon. Because there be activations happening in those spaces. It's like, I literally watch people change. I literally, in the Sacred Sister Circle, I've literally seen people change. Literally. Look different. Sound different. manifesting different. That's what's supposed to be happening. So if you are in spaces, in classes, in whatever, listen, it could even be the Sacred Sister Circle. It could be Dream and I's Patreon. I don't want you in the space if it's not changing you, right? I don't want you there just soaking up information. That's not my purpose. That's not my purpose. That's not my work. And that's just the facts, right? That's just the facts. Even getting a reading from me is about spiritual activation. Like if you are not ready to change and evolve and receive something that's going to actually set off some light bulbs in your being, I'm probably not the teacher, coach, the person for you. Like if you just want to be the most intellectual spiritualist, I get, and you know why? You know something funny? Wow, Spirit, thank you. Spirit just told me, honor them 20, 30, 40, 50 people that be on my pages. I honor you and I thank you. Because if you are here, then it says to me that you are about activation and transformation. Like you want to feel something. And that's what I realized that I do. I make people feel something. You're going to feel some type of way. It ain't going to be like, ooh, that's smart. You know, like, oh, that's good. No, I'm trying to make you feel some type of way. A shift in your spirit, a shift in your being. I swear something's trying to like nibble on my breast a little bit, you know? So it's all about the glow up, right? It's all about the glow up. It's all about the transformation. It's all about being able to show and tell. Show and tell. Not just tell. Not just tell, okay? And I'm talking about the people who are on the receiving end of the information. You want to be able to say, this is who I was at first. Then I took D-Ray's class, or then I joined the Sacred Sister Circle. Then I got a reading. This is who I was. I applied the information. I applied the activation. When I felt that shift in my being, I applied it. I didn't just feel good in the moment and then sleep on it. I felt the activation take place. I felt the light bulb go off. I felt the ooh. I felt that hit my spirit. I felt that hit my soul. I felt my higher self and my spirit team come through and say, that's for you. That's what I was looking for. I felt that. And when I felt that, I acted on it. And this is who I am now. That's what we're talking about. Okay? That's what we're talking about. Y'all let me know in the chat if you've ever felt activated. Have you ever felt activated? Have you ever felt that, ooh, that's what I was looking for? Got it. Let me tell you right now. That is what you pay for. That is what you pay for. You don't pay just to learn what's in the book. I hope this is making sense. Stop paying for what's in the book. You can go and get that yourself. You know, this is why Brother Panic is a really great teacher. I'm gonna tell y'all some people who are activators. Okay? Stop paying for what's in the book. Pay for what can be ignited inside of you. When you pay me for a consultation, when you pay me for a reading, when you pay me for the sacred system, when you pay Desiree D. Ray Wise, you're paying for activation. You're not paying for book smart. That's not even me. That's not even how I move. You pay for activation. You pay for me to unlock something that has been lying dormant in that unconscious mind. You pay for me to turn on some of that quote unquote junk DNA. You pay me to shine a light on something that you've been dying to see, but for some reason couldn't. Stop paying for what's in the book. Stop paying for what's in the book. You can do that on your own. There are certain teachers out here who help you to actually see spirit, who help you to actually experience spirit, not just be able to say, oh, this is what spirituality is. It's chakras, you know, it's chakras and it's astrology and it's feng shui and all of those things. All of those things are very useful things. All of those things are very, very useful things. But that's just the intellectual side of spirituality. And what you should be going for is the integration of spirituality and living spiritually and understanding how spirit is always at play in your life. So like a major person who does a lot of activations for me is Miss Blue. She's an activating goddess, right? Me and Miss Blue are very similar in so many ways, but she activates the people that come on there and get those readings from her and that, you know, ask her questions. They're coming for activations. They're not coming for books. They're not coming for, okay, well, the root chakra is red and it symbolizes your safety and your security. Actually, now that I'm talking about it, you know, people in the Patreon, y'all know when we have a book club and y'all ask a question, I'm reading beyond your question. I'm about to answer the question you didn't even realize you had and make you be like, oh shit, thank you. That's actually it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about, hey, so what do you think about this? What I'm really picking up for you is this and this and this and that. You know? It's different, y'all. It's different. It's different, and you have to be able to feel that. If you want to grow, heal, transform, and create a life that actually, and live a life where you are actually a co-creator with God, your higher divine self, you need to be looking for activation and not information. So like Dream said, Bobby Hemmett is the perfect example of that, right? He can give you book references, but when he's teaching, he's trying to connect with your soul. He's not trying to make you smarter. He's not trying to make you smarter. I'm not trying to make you smarter. I'm trying to make you, and I'm not trying to make you, it's happening. I am helping you to realize that you already have everything that you need. But for some reason, an aspect of your mind has been dormant, shut off, shut down. An aspect of your perception, let's be really clear. An aspect of your perception of how you are viewing your life and your situation, an aspect of it has been closed off and shut down based off of your trauma, based off of your programming, based off of things like that. And so you can't see the other side. You can't see how spirit is at play in certain areas of your life because your perception has been so limited based off of who you've been, based off of your conditioning, based off of your experiences. So spiritual teachers who are activating you, they're turning back on they're turning back on those parts of you that you've turned off. They are expanding your mind and removing you from limitation and helping you to see the infinite possibility. That's what's actually happening. They're helping you to, okay, so it's like this. It's like you have tunnel vision, okay? Like this is what you are seeing, this is what you are experiencing, this is how you think, this is how you view the world. Spiritual teachers who are activating, they just open your lens up a little bit more. So your lens goes from like right here to like right here. So now you can see all of this, okay? When you are just receiving information, this is still the perspective. This is still your view on the world, and you're just stacking on top of that, okay? Activation is opening you up to more possibilities. It's opening you up to a greater reality. It's opening you up to see things that you couldn't see at first, okay? And that's what the goal is in life. And when you're operating in your purpose, let me say that. When you're operating in your purpose, you want to be activating people. Okay? Helping them to light up, helping them to turn on, helping them to tune in to a deeper level of themselves. Okay? All the information will come. All the information, I mean, it's information overload at this time. You don't need no more information. You need activation. You don't need any more information. You need activation. Even people who are quote unquote new to spirituality, it's still about activation. Some of my greatest moments of activation and turning on was when it wasn't in me just looking at a video of somebody, it was in the conversation. It was in talking with Dreamwise. It was in talking to Khadija Samdi. It was in the conversation. It wasn't in taking the notes. It wasn't in of course I've read some books that have activated some things inside of me. But it ain't the whole book. It's that one page, that one sentence, that one paragraph that does the activation. And so some of you, you'll read the whole book because somebody told you read the whole book from cover to cover when there's only one thing in that book that was specifically for you at this time. Here's the beautiful thing. The more activated you get, the more you'll come back to some old information and it'll make sense and it will actually apply to your life. So many people are just receiving information and they're not integrating it into their lives. They don't know how to make it, the information could be as simple as 1 + 1 = 2, but that doesn't mean that it is important and it is influencing and impacting your reality. And so sometimes you need the activation and then go back into the information. Come on, Spirit. I worked with so many people who have been in this spiritual community, have taken so many classes. They come to me, I do a reading for them or a consultation, and then I'm like, now go back into it. Now go back and read that book. Now go back and take that class. Now go back and look at that post. Now go back and do that, because now that you've been activated, your perception has expanded. So now you can get more out of the information. Come on. Sometimes you can't even gain everything that you need to gain out of the information because you're still lacking activation. So I challenge y'all to do that. Instead of just receiving content, no matter what the forms it comes in, whether it's books or videos or whatever, look for a connection. Look for a connection. And my most consistent clients on here, my most consistent people that I work with, it's because of the connection. It's not because I'm teaching them something new. It's because I awaken something inside of them. It's because I turn something on inside of them that has been wanting to be turned on. I help them to remember. That's what it is, right? A lot of my clients, they take every single class that I teach. Join the Patreon, join the Sacred Sister Circle, get readings. They do all of that, not because they think I'm going to necessarily teach them something new, some new information, but I'm going to help them to remember something that they need to know right now for their lives. And so I say this all the time. I teach for who's in the room. I teach for the people in the room. All of my classes, it's for the people in the room. And I trust that if you listen to the class again, or I trust that if you go, you buy the class after the fact, there's going to be activations in it for you. There's going to be transformation in it for you. There's going to be aha moments in it for you. Okay? That's what we do. That's what we do. And that's what you should be striving for as you are on this journey. Okay? Real quick before I go, I am doing readings right now. Well, I just started offering them today. I believe we're only going to leave the cart open for a few days for people to get their readings. It's going to be the manifestation method readings. We're in the spring season. This is the time to start manifesting. And you have to know that you have a unique, sacred way to manifest. And so I can help you to activate that. I can help you to realize what that is. You try it out and you tell me what happens, right? But we'll discover that through readings. So if that's something you're interested in, I think Dream dropped it in the chat a little while ago. Anyways, y'all have any questions about anything spiritual, about anything activation? Let me know. Let's talk a little bit before I go inside. Enjoying this beautiful spring weather. Let me see. Can I pin this? Y'all let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. Let's chat a little bit. And then yeah. I hope this content has made some connections for you. That's what I hope. Let me see. I'm gonna pin this link at the top so y'all can do with it. Okay, there's Dreamwise with the link. Thank you, babe. Pin. Yes, 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 yes. And if y'all have not done so already, go listen to I can't see y'all because the sun, so y'all see me like squinting and all of that. That's what's happening. Also, y'all, go listen to Iman and I's Sacred Sister Circle podcast that dropped last night. We're talking about the power of love. If you want some activations, go listen to that podcast. We're talking about the power of love. Miss Blue's YouTube page is called Planet Remix Radio. Yeah, she's an activating goddess for sure. Okay, she's an activating goddess for sure. And if you want activations, you got to know who to go to. If you want information, you know who to go to. Miss Blue, Planet Remix Radio. She goes live on mostly every Friday night and Sunday night. She goes live on YouTube. I would absolutely, it's Planet Remix. I would absolutely recommend her content because she's straight activations. I mean, she actually supported so much healing and transformation inside of me as a sister, right? As a big sister. She's just my girl. She's going to be on the Sacred Sister Circle podcast sometime this year. So I'm excited about that because we're going to get to tap into our magic together. We're going to be able to tap into our magic together. Any more questions? Let me see. Iman said, I guarantee, sis, that something is being activated right now. For sure. For sure. You just understand how it is you should be approaching this spiritual information. We don't approach the spiritual information just wanting to know more, just to know more. Okay? But you want to know more so that you become more. And if the information doesn't cause something to shift inside of your being, then you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow. It has to make you feel some type of way. It has to trigger you. That's the powerful thing about triggering, okay? Triggers are not just all about, oh, somebody made me mad, somebody made me upset, somebody did this, but people can trigger the best to come out of you. People can trigger the best to come out of you, and sometimes it won't always feel comfortable. I remember I had came on Miss Blue, and Miss Blue and I, at this point, we have more of a peer-to-peer relationship, which is beautiful. And I had came on, and I was talking to her about some things that I was experiencing and dealing with at the time. And she just gave me like the biggest aha moment. And at the time, it didn't necessarily feel good to receive that activation, but I needed it at that time. And it's changed my life. And so that's what you got to understand. Like, spiritual activation can also be triggering. It can also make you feel like, ooh, don't come for me too hard, sis. You know? Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it is that. It is you feeling like I'm coming for you, but I love you. And so I have to give this straight up to you, straight, raw, no chaser, whatever. You know, that's what needs to happen. What made Bobby Hemmett so powerful was that he knew how to make us laugh while he was letting people know that they were so indoctrinated in their humanity. But there was still spiritual activation in that, and knowing that there's more. Hey, y'all. Butterfly just flew by. Beautiful things happening out here. So you have to know, right? You just have to know that spiritual activation is where it's at. Nobody wants to stop. We're done with just all of the information. Nobody just wants to hear how much you know and all of that. It's just not it. Right, yeah. If you feel some type of way, that's the activation. Absolutely. And so, like, for me, even with the content that I create, and even with like the Sacred Sister Circle podcast, it's all a feeling. It has to cause me to feel some type of way. I have to feel something in it. If I feel something in it, I know it'll make others feel something. Right? If I feel something, I know it'll make somebody else feel something. So that's why I had to go live today. Because when Dream and I were talking about spiritual information versus spiritual activation, I felt some type of way. I was like, damn, I don't know if people really understand the difference. I was like, I don't know if people really understand the difference. I need people to understand the difference because the value is in the activation, not the information. So many people are still asleep because all you're doing is you're valuing information instead of the activation. I was like, no, babe, I got to go talk to the family about this because they need to know who Desiree D. Ray Wise is. I'm an activator. I turn things on. I light things up. I get things started and popping over here. Okay? That's the work that I do. I get you started up, changing and transforming. I turn your cells on. I turn on that God body energy. That is what I do. I activate you. But I know there's multiple things that happen in the spiritual community. One, people like to be entertained. There are so many people. Let me know if I'm talking to you. Let's talk about it. There's three things that happen. One, people want to be entertained. They want to laugh. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. You know, they want to hear good stories. I like the good stories too. I like hearing about, you know, the aliens or even how Dream perceives a movie or whatever. Those things are cool. It's a form of entertainment or edutainment. Cool. That's one area. Then you got the people who just want more information. They just eating, necessarily digesting. Come on, spirit. I know. I've talked to so many people who are not digesting the information. They can tell me what a chakra is. They can tell me what shadow work is, but it hasn't changed and transformed them. Let me know, which one are you? Information. Just like Yah said, it's like going to church, which I don't mind that energy because I'm a preacher too. I got that energy too. But that energy for me is more so about letting you know that is not written in your law that ye are God. And so you can take this information, do something with it, and it can change you and raise you up. In the Sacred Sister Circle open house, a young lady had put in the chat, she was like, oh, you preaching. She said, my father My father is a preacher and you preaching right now. And I receive that as a compliment. So I can understand that church energy as well, right? Michael Beckwith, Iyanla Van Zant, and all of these other people. I love it. I'm here for that as well. So that's one realm of just taking in information but not necessarily acting on it. And then there's another realm of activation. Here's why. Okay. Here's why. Ooh, come on, Spirit. I get it. I'm making peace with this right now the more that I talk about it. Wow. Ooh, do y'all want to hear a major breakthrough that I just had? Y'all let me know if y'all want to hear a major breakthrough that I just had right now. A major breakthrough that I just had for my work is that after people work with me for a certain amount of time, they can go on their way. They can go move forward. They can go push through because I've literally activated them and changed something inside of their being. They don't need me anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. In fact, that is a gift. It lets me know that I've done well. And so we work together for as long as we work together, and we keep going and we keep growing and we keep going to our next level, right? I keep going to my next level. The more I grow, the more some of my clients from the beginning get to stay along for the ride, right? Because some of you I've been working with for years, and we get to stay in it because I keep growing. We just keep growing together. But what I realize is that these YouTube numbers, it don't mean shit. For vanity metrics and for making people feel like, ooh, this must be important, those numbers mean something. Those numbers mean something because we live in a world of glamour. We live in a world of glamour and this false gold where value is wrapped around how many likes you have. Value is wrapped around, how many views you have. Value is wrapped around how many live streamers you have in the moment. That's the glamour. Spirit is channeling right now. That's glamour. It doesn't mean that activation is happening. So you could have 600, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 people in a live stream video. That doesn't mean that the healing, the transformation, and the alchemy is actually taking place. Doesn't mean that at all. And Spirit is just telling me right now, like you're good. That is such a gift. I'm so grateful for that revelation. I don't need the vanity metrics because when people come into my space, they actually leave changed. They don't got to keep coming back for video after video after video after video. I would like for you to, right? Right? Because there is an algorithm at play. So I would like for you to. I would like for you to. But it's still for vanity and it's still for the algorithm. It's not necessarily, like I said, I want people who I get to actually support, impact, and influence for the better and help to rise up. That's the facts. I mean, that's what my work is. It's never been about, even when I played sports and stuff, it's so amazing. Even when I played sports and stuff, it's never been about how many awards I could win or how good I could look for the community or whatever. It was about the amount of impact I can have on the team, on the space, in the place, right? How can I make this space better? How can I make this space better? How can I leave my mark, right? I was here, like Beyonce said. I was here. What a freaking gift. That's a real gift. And so that was just a download that I just decided to share with y'all as Spirit was just giving it to me. Because I needed that. I needed that right there in that moment. Thank you, Spirit. And you see that activation that activation that just happened within me. Actually, I'm hearing spiritually that this tree right here, Simon, is actually the one that just kind of initiated that download. That's what I'm picking up on, right? This tree is actually the one that's giving that information. And I'm grateful. Like, that's such a gift. And so, wow. I'm like, okay, spirit. I'm kind of still just in shock by the revelation of that. I'm still kind of in shock by the revelation of that. So, anywho's, let me see what y'all talking about in this chat. I love y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for being in this sacred space with me and supporting me and being present. Again, if y'all haven't watched Sacred Sister Circle podcast episode 4 with Imani _ the love doula, I recommend y'all go listen to that to go get you some activations on the power of love. And then if you're looking for some activations pertaining to your manifestations and your ability to bring forth the life that you desire, hit that link that I just pinned to the thing to get your reading. I'm going to stop accepting readings on Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to close the cart. We're going to stop doing it. We're going to be going out of town. Finally, we've been trying to go out of town. We've been trying to go out of town for like a month or two now, but Spirit just kept putting other things on our path for us to deal with, and now the coast is clear and Spirit is like, go for it. So we're going to take the kids out of town. So I love that. All right. So yes, love you, Jenny. Yah says this was so good. Thank you. Simone says thank you. Definitely feel activated after this. Was missing this. Yeah, that's the key. That's the plug. Okay. The plug is activation, not information, family. I love you. Man, I'm so grateful to have y'all a part of our family. Y'all make sure y'all get outside and enjoy this warm weather. Enjoy that sun on your skin. And just know that you are sacred, right? You are sacred. There is divinity inside of you. Never forget that. And then make sure y'all join Dream and I on Dreams and Desires. I think we're on like episode 20 something tomorrow. And if you want to see divine masculine and divine feminine energy bouncing off of each other, definitely join us. Definitely join us there. And yeah, go get y'all's readings. If you want some activations, I'm here for that. All right. Peace, family. We'll talk soon.